This is Inclarity Podcast. I'm Starr. You start to say something simple, just a thought, a preference, a no thank you. But before you know it, you're adding context, disclaimers, background. You're softening your tone, you're making sure they know you're not being difficult, not being rude, not being unreasonable. You're explaining, and then over explaining. It happens fast. A few extra sentences, a justification, a nervous laugh, a careful loop back to clarify. What could have been said in 10 seconds takes 60, and when it's over, you feel vaguely embarrassed, like you just gave a TED talk no one asked for. This is the over-explanation habit, an anxiety reflex dressed as communication. It's what we do when we fear being misinterpreted, disliked, or judged. It's not about clarity, it's about emotional preemptiveness. You're trying to close every door that might lead to conflict. The core need underneath it is not to be understood. It's to be seen as reasonable, as good, as fair, as someone who thought it through. It's the defensive cousin of people-pleasing, not saying yes, but saying no, with so much padding that no one could accuse you of being harsh. And often, it stems from experience. If you grew up in a household where you had to explain yourself to be taken seriously, or if your tone was policed more than your intent, you likely learned that brevity could be dangerous, that leaving anything out made you vulnerable to backlash. So now you explain too much not to inform, but to protect. You may do it with friends, you may do it with bosses, you may even do it in texts, sending a second message to soften the first. And it doesn't mean you're weak, it means you've learned to anticipate misunderstanding before it happens. That's not a flaw, it's a form of emotional intelligence, but it can become a burden. Because when over-explaining becomes automatic, it starts to erode your authority. It makes confident decisions sound unsure. It makes healthy boundaries sound negotiable. It makes you smaller, softer, more tentative than you actually are. And ironically, it rarely works the way you want it to. The people who already respect you don't need all the context. The people who don't will tune out anyway, and the people who want to twist your words will find a way, no matter how carefully you present them. What gets lost is the power of directness. There is nothing wrong with providing context when it's called for. But when every opinion becomes a preamble, every decision a justification, you stop communicating and start performing, hoping that if you say it nicely enough, they won't push back, hoping that if you explain it fully enough, they'll let you off the hook. But you don't need to justify your feelings to deserve respect. You don't need to explain your no for it to be valid. You don't owe anyone a smooth exit ramp from your truth. You can say, I can't make it. You can say, that's not going to work for me. You can say, I disagree, and leave it at that. You're not being rude, you're being clear.